Governor, let me ask you about an interview you gave with the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette editorial where you raised some questions about Barack Obama's viability with voters in your state. You said, quote, "You've got some conservatives here, and I think there are some whites who are probably not ready to vote for an African-American candidate." Do you feel like maybe you were quoted out of context? Did you misspeak? Or do you mean that white people won't vote for Barack Obama? Because that certainly wasn't the case in Virginia or Maryland.
No, of course not. And you have to look at the entire interview. First of all, I was in an editorial board interview talking about my education budget and our Pennsylvania economic stimulus program. I was asked to sort of on the way out the door to handicap the Pennsylvania race. And I gave all of the assets and all the liabilities I thought of all candidates. And there's no question, I ran against a very attractive, charismatic African-American for re-election as governor, Nora, you know, Lynn Swan, the TV sportscaster. And there's no question that there are some Pennsylvanians, just like there are people all over the country, who aren't ready to vote an executive position for an African-American. Smaller and smaller every year. Just like there are some people, some men, who don't want to see a woman as commander-in-chief of the United States military.
I guess, Governor, I want to ask you about that. I mean, you say there are some white people who won't vote for a black person. How then do you explain that in Virginia, a southern state, that Barack Obama won the white vote by 5 points over Hillary Clinton?
I was talking about a very tiny percentage, a tiny percentage. And I said, right after that, if you read the whole interview, I said that Senator Obama had the ability to balance that by going out and attracting new voters to the polls that never voted before. And we're talking about a very small percentage of voters, but some of these primaries are decided by a very small percentage of voters. Senator Clinton has the same handicap. There are some men who have said, look, I have nothing against Senator Clinton, but I don't want to see a woman as the in charge of the United States military as commander-in-chief. Look, the bottom line is people bring preconceived opinions into elections. Senator Obama has done a great job overcoming them to a terrific degree. But I think we would all be naive if we said that some of that doesn't exist. And let me tell you, Nora, you know, this was what really ticks me off about this is the fellow who wrote this up said I was trying to inject race into the election. Well, first of all, I was in there for a totally other purpose. They asked me parenthetically about this. If I wanted to inject race into the campaign, by the way, I didn't do it in my campaign against Lynn Swan. I've never done it, and I've been a unifying force for all my time as DA and mayor and governor. But if I wanted to do that, would I do it in a windowless room with 6 people? Of course not. I'd do it in a larger forum. I answered a question. And I always tell the truth. And the trouble is with the media, if you tell the truth, you get skewered. If you give a politically correct answer, then the media throws up its hands and says, all these politicians duck answers and they don't tell the truth. You get it either way. Look, those are factors. The great thing about this election is both candidates, and Senator Obama to a greater degree so far, have shown the ability to transcend some of those old prejudices or those old predisposed notions. And that's great for the country. That's great for the country.
Finally, Governor, let me ask you about the state of the race. You pointed out that if Senator Clinton wins New Mexico, that she will have won a majority of the primary states. But we took a look at the popular vote because Senator Clinton has made the case, look, that she was still ahead in the popular vote. Well, after last night, she's not ahead in the popular vote. And that's even including Florida and Michigan. And Barack Obama wasn't even on the ballot in Michigan. Obama's the leader on the popular vote. How then could you tell a superdelegate or you as a superdelegate, vote for Hillary Clinton in the future if it's Barack Obama who's won the popular vote nationally?
Well, but this is far from over. There are tons of states to vote yet, Nora, including 3 of the biggest states in the Union, Ohio, Texas, and Pennsylvania. Call me up April 23rd, and let's see who holds the majority of the popular vote.
You got a deal. I'm calling you April 23rd. We hope to have you back on.
Hopefully you'll be in Pennsylvania the night of the 22nd, so you won't have to pay for a phone call.
All right, Governor Rendell.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for joining us.